across the like 30 some odd games FlyQuest have played so far this split. He has been very much a two-trick, and this time around going to be on the third wheel here. And I'm curious what this is going to look like now, because we've got another carry top lane. This time Broken Blade is on the Jax. Played it once before this split. We'll see if he can have another good success here. Obviously, with the Camille, it worked out well. That drew a ban. He's on, the second choice here. And I'm glad we are still seeing this style, right? He's not on Shen. He's not doing Renekton. And yeah, Renekton can be dominant in lane, sure, but this is very much a champion. It's like, no. I'm going to hard split push. I will occasionally join your team fights, but my primary goal is, in fact, damage output. This is, again, unique texture on the TSM top side. Yes, these champs are viable, but really only TSM is the only team left alive in playoffs who plays this kind of style. I'm hyped to see it. We're going into game 2. We'll see how much better these teams can play. Can FlyQuest hold up against TSM? Because TSM were by far better in game 1, and we still got the same style coming in for game 2.
And are we going to have a spicy level 1? Because both teams came into game number 1 with pre-planned level 1s. They went to opposite sides of the map, so they did not actually run into each other. So I'm going to be curious as we get this beautiful shot of Summoner's Rift to find out if there will be any early game action this time around. TSM camping out here just in case FlyQuest did go for any sort of a deep ward. But there's so much going on in this game that I actually really do want to talk about. So, with this IgNar pick, it's very high risk, because I think the thought process is essentially we need something to help answer the side lane play, because we are going to have Broken Blade out on the side lane and TF ulting over to kill him. And they are then hoping, I think, that Pantheon can be out there and ult over to try to match that. My problem with this is that I don't see you winning that 2v2 unless you're already playing from an advantage. It can be pretty difficult for a Pantheon from behind to really do anything at all to a Jax, especially post 1 or 2 items. So I am somewhat concerned that they have given up a lot of laning power here in that bot lane 2v2 for something that I'm just not that confident is even going to help hold down the Jax.
Yeah, we'll have to see what comes through in this one, because honestly, yeah, that can be scary if you're not winning the lanes. We already saw that TSM did a great job at sneaking Drakes or just taking them off of lane control here. The 2-on-2 right now is going to be initially pressure from the FlyQuest side. This should make it reasonably easy to attack and Q spam and knock down the caches and look for level 2 play. IgNar and Biofrost sitting in brush make them both fairly hard to hit. IgNar going to back out, respecting the volley. This is, if you volley me, you're not hitting the minion waves, so we're going to get 2 out of that one, and goes back in as they fight for those waves yet again. Solo going to play on the back side right now. Down in farm, instant level 2, instant jump in. Broken Blade gets about 200 damage dealt. Grass comes back. It is not nearly as good as the trade that Jax got.
Yeah, not even close. You really have to be very careful, because as soon as you hit level 2, you're always going to level that leap strike on Jax, and you need to be out of range so you don't take a poor trade like that. Broken Blade obviously did already showcase the Jax once in the playoffs. This was kind of as that counterpick towards the board, and it did work very well for him there. I think this is a harder matchup to abuse as far as the 1v1 goes, but you still can create big advantages in the side lane. You can get to that point where you're destroying towers, and in combination with the TF, you really can threaten kills very, very effectively. I've also got to say that I am pretty surprised by the cleanse here from DoubleLift. It feels like you're giving a tremendous amount of respect over to that point-and-click stun from the Pantheon, feeling like, hey, if that lands on me and any sort of trap is layered after that, then you are going to get taken down. But that's really the only thing there is to cleanse, right? Like, there's not a lot here that you're going to be worried about.
The Ornn are slow.
Yeah, I guess you can cleanse the knockup from the Ornn ult and then flash, but it's like these are situations that don't really happen much. So
yeah, sure.
I am surprised by that. I honestly think that it might have made more sense to just go something like the heal, or if you wanted to play more for the lane, even the teleport in this kind of situation. But we'll see if he gets value out of it.
The recalls are coming through across several of the lanes here as Jax made his way back to get Cole. And a play to the mid lane forces a flash out of Bjergsen as IgNar is already on the roam. And you can see this is the power of IgNar. Of course, he was shown on the minion wave. Yeah, he didn't really pick this champion necessarily for the 2-on-2, although farm is okay down there. It's because he's going to roam around the map. He's going to pick up boots as soon as he has 300 gold, and he's going to try to affect the other lanes. And a Flash of Twisted Fate is a lane you can certainly affect.
You can. It's something that is pretty dangerous. But until PowerOfEvil is 6, I still don't really think they have that much threat unless IgNar gets up there, because there is no CC. You pretty much need the ability to actually scoop the TF back in. So it's going to be a tighter timing maybe than FlyQuest would like, and we'll see if they're going to be able to take advantage of that. Post 6, Bjergsen is going to have to play with a lot of respect to that Azir, because if you get shuffled in and then Graves shows up, you are going to be in trouble.
A bit of damage there comes out of Solo. Now the junglers are going to show up as well. Broken Blade's going to get his dodge already on cooldown. This is the play coming in, but the jungler is right across the wall, flashed to the pit, and now they see that Spica is there. They see the vision. They know what's going on. You can attack at the wall, you cannot Q. He kills the control ward. That allows Broken Blade to walk back out and heal back up. Good play there. Didn't even have to flash, by the way. Had the jump available, Spica gave him the road out. So well played by the TSM duo. No summoners lost, and that looks scary, but he gets away.
Did look pretty scary, especially when he actually dropped the ward, but then he got hit by the smoke screen. You lose vision of your own ward, so he couldn't hop to that, so you had to survive to get out of that smoke screen and then hop over to the Sett. But with all of the charges available on that corrupting potion, he can heal right back up. The wave is pushing towards him. He has that early cull, so he knows he's not going to be able to just kill this Ornn. He's not going to be able to really have a dominant lane as far as that 1v1 goes. It's more about the farming. It's more about how he can extend this forward.
We got some damage down there as IgNar walks in. Good shots towards DoubleLift. You can see they're trading mostly on the opposing carry. The traps come down to try to dissuade any counter aggression as the wave goes down. Equal farm right now for the players. 1 CSD plus a caster alive means they can both get 45 on that point in time. And we'll see as the wave is answered. This is the standard BF sword recall timing. FlyQuest will push that down as best they can as Broken Blade trades back with Solo. And yeah, you press the dodge as soon as the W's done channeling, and the Brittle will time out by the time you're done dodging.
Yep, but the wave's actually in a pretty bad spot, and because Solo has the XP advantage, he's going to get 6. Broken Blade has to back off and then TP back in to try to just reset the wave. His jungler's on the opposite side of the map. He's down farm. The wave was frozen against him, so it's actually a pretty rough lane position right now for Broken Blade, and credit to Solo, who's doing a great job in this 1v1, is up 14 CS. You know, we'll see how that all does shake out after all the minions do get cleared up, but when you're drawing attention up on that top side and you're winning out anyway, it's going to buy more time for your jungler down on the bottom side, so it is FlyQuest at this time that grabbed that first dragon. No chance of an immediate snowball this game from TSM.
Pretty big deal here as well, looking at how this had played out. There's an alternate reality where Bjergsen is able to ult down a bot lane right there as FlyQuest try to push the wave after Drake. And suddenly you get the kill on Turtle, who's cleanseless, and that becomes the whole situation. But they're able to walk over for Drake and then still push the wave out and then still get a recall off. With playing a roaming support who has left lane more than once already, they're still able to get the push, get a recall when they want it, get BF sword boots, plus the Drake reader talked about. Very good stuff down here, but now TF is going to probably head topside. Solo is alone. Biofrost already there. Gold card lands.
Oh.
Greatly played by Biofrost. First blood goes through to Broken Blade. Absolutely beautiful out of TSM.
That is an MVP assist right there, knocking him right back into the waiting arms of the Jax. Everyone backs off to give first blood to the Jax, and guess what? Solo just TP'd back. Every top laner knows that is the nightmare situation when you die immediately after utilizing that TP. Either the wave can be frozen on you, or it can be fully reset. You're losing minions either way, and your opponent is going to get that free recall off very, very likely. So TSM going to be so happy about how that top lane play shaked out.
Not quite a chance for a smite steal. Santorin invades a little bit too late. Maybe concerned about what TF might have been up to as he was hiding in Fog of War. And there's that TP into death.
So he TP's back in. The wave is in a rough spot for him. He didn't actually fully reset it. He goes to drop the ward, and already TSM is there waiting. The charge is on cooldown. Biofrost is behind him, and that is when you're just so sad. It's like, okay, Sett's here. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I can get out. All right, TF salting in. Maybe I can still escape. I'll flash over the wall. Bard is here too. Come on, guys. Where's the team at?
Well, TSM certainly all up on the top side of the map as Broken Blade gets up for this one. DoubleLift just catching his farm down there. Will have a small CS deficit to his side, as so far so good for the FlyQuest out of this one. But yes, first blood is certainly relevant, and that's going to feel pretty nice. DoubleLift second time in a row going for the Essence Reaver build. It's overall lower damage, but obviously with cooldown reduction means more arrows, so more utility focused. And well, you're playing Jax and Camille top lane every game, so yeah, probably go more utility focused on that role. Sounds about right for the team composition. PowerOfEvil trading farm pretty closely with Bjergsen. Keep in mind you get about 4 extra gold per CS on Twisted Fate. So you just do the math and you say, okay, well, there's 320 gold right now from the TF passive. The gold lead outside of that is equal.
And it is going to be interesting to see how this game does play out, because while generally you think, you know, when you have frontline on the team like an Ornn who can tank up that Ashe arrow, it becomes more difficult to use. When you realize that, well, the Ornn's probably going to be stuck in the side lane most of the game, actually answering the Jax, and there's no cleanse on any of the 4 other members, and they're all squishy, all of a sudden, Ashe becomes so dangerous, and Turtle's in trouble, no cleanse, remember.
Speaking of instant cleanse to walk forward, trying to get more damage on this one. They do get away from Spica. Flash ult could have signaled a lot of doom right there, but it means 3 summoners down to the FlyQuest side for 2 on TSM.
So when you go that CDR build, anytime he hits an arrow, really on anyone except the Ornn, who's probably not even going to be able to be grouped with the team most of the time, it's going to be incredibly dangerous. Mikhail's is not something that IgNar can really build this game, and Broken Blade getting solo dangerously low there. He may have to just back it up, even with Santorin moving up towards that top side of the map. Now Spica is spotted, but would be very risky to stay around.
He's going to regen back up in his mana pool to at least clear the minion wave right now. PowerOfEvil playing it a bit far back, but as long as he holds a charge of W and 1 of E, he can get away from almost any gank that comes in. Teleport is down, but Flash is up, means he's probably safe. Top Herald going to be attacked 10 minutes into the game. TSM, but they did lose the first Drake, have gotten first blood and are playing for first Herald now. Players coming around. Solo does have ulti. Ashe coming across the map. Caitlyn the same. Here comes the play. Ulti coming across. How many knockups can Solo get? 1 and 2 as big damage on the Spica forces the shield out. Double ult from Biofrost. Re-engage. Easy Q. Jump in for Spica. He's going to get the dunk across. First blood goes to WildTurtle. Well, first for the game of FlyQuest, I should say, as TSM got one earlier, but the trap comes in. Good damage on a Bjergsen, and it means the counterpunch is in. FlyQuest fighting back in game 2.
Very well done there. TSM not able to coordinate to actually lair their CC, despite the fact that Biofrost landed the ultimate. He couldn't actually coordinate on that binding. The gold card, I believe, was on cooldown from the previous attempt there from Bjergsen. So TSM not able to find the kind of fight that they wanted around that Herald, and already FlyQuest is having a much better start than Heat Wave in California right now, and that is what is causing some of these blackouts across California. Unfortunately, WildTurtle, was the victim, I guess, so to speak, of one of these power outages, and as a result, he had to move. They did tweet and talked a little bit about why they weren't already together at the facility. They had decided to quarantine separately, trying to stay as safe as they possibly can. Obviously, we are in a global pandemic. COVID is a big thing that is happening right now, but thankfully, we are back into the game. I am excited for some League of Legends. Enough of those pauses. Let's get the LCS Summer Finals back underway.
Game 1 was a TSM win through and through. There were moments and glimmers of hope for FlyQuest, but TSM was by far the better team. So far in Game 2, though, it has been a lot closer. FlyQuest got the first Drake. FlyQuest got the Rift Herald. They're keeping up in farm. This is absolutely a winnable game for them, and I still want to see a 5-game series. Now, I want to see a long series, Azael. I did. I want to go the distance, just not quite this way. Hopefully we do get actually more than 3 games and not 45-minute pauses. That said, we all saw Season 2 Worlds, like some of us did, and we're going to hope that we have something better than that going on here. So Solo back up the top lane. Broken Blade carries in the top lane. Has been the name of the game for TSM. It's looked good for them so far. IgNar on the roams, though. Spica does not have flash. He could be a target, but he's a little bit too far away. With his boots, he walks out. You can still see the FlyQuest feeling comfortable around playing this bottom river. And not quite going to set up the Drake just yet, but they have gotten ward control.
And you can see DoubleLift and Biofrost actually kind of cheating over towards Turtle. They know he has no flash. They do have their ultimates both going to be up here in a second or two. Biofrost just now getting his off of cooldown. So TSM has the ability to potentially look for a 4v4, but if they can actually delay this a little bit, Broken Blade is going to have his teleport before Solo. So there is potential for TSM to try to challenge for this. Bjergsen is back in mid lane. They now have TP advantage on that top side, and they would love to be able to grab a dragon here to push back any potential for a soul, and they're going to try to start it off with a pick on Turtle.
Yep, they're going to go for the Bartley. That's going to land. Easy one on Turtle. Here comes round 2. Easy stun. Here comes the rest of it. He still cannot move. Nothing can be done, and WildTurtle has been tamed. Oh, into the backside, and there's number 2. Herald's going to be summoned for not a whole lot out of Santorin. I think he just pressed the button overall, but now he's summoned by Bjergsen as well. Careful, buddy. You're on a 1v3. Slowed by Bard, and just like that, TSM going to pick up 3 kills in a row, and the Drake's right in front of their eyes.
They didn't even need Broken Blade finding the pick onto Turtle. Great Bard ultimate from Biofrost, knowing the flash was not available for Turtle. That CC was perfectly layered. Bard ultimate into Bard stun, into Ashe arrow, into gold card. Turtle just wanted to play some League of Legends, but TSM was not letting him.
Well, PowerOfEvil wants to play some League as well, is stunned, though that makes this chase on Bjergsen a bit difficult. Does he have Q up in a second? He needs one more spell, and he's not got the cooldown nor the mana. Make it happen. Bjergsen walks away, just trading ult for a health bar. He's going to recall out of this lane without too much issue.
All right, so let's watch this one more time. Spica's over on the side. They're trying to do this Bard ult from very close. Notice how Biofrost moves up. It's so hard to dodge those ultimates from close range. There's not a lot of travel time on them. The Bard stun, the Ashe arrow, clapped back in there by Spica. Then the gold card comes through, and as the rest of the team tries to bail him out, they just end up running straight into their death. Santorin also, his death going down here as well. You know, just too little too late, honestly. I think they had to kind of just bail out on the play and allow Turtle to die once he got caught because the CC chain was already going to be there, and they ended up committing to trying to save him. They give up a couple more kills. They lose the dragon anyway, and TSM are now in a really good spot because that soul win condition for FlyQuest got pushed back a lot, and this is going to buy so much time for the Jax to complete his Blade of the Rune King, to cash out on the call, to work towards the Triforce, and really try to become that split push monster.
All right, Biofrost helps Control Ward die, and then it gets replaced on the FlyQuest side, but now they're going to fight for it again. This time, Santorin has the ability to dodge away from it. Nicely done with the quick draw, but it still means this game is unlikely to be a draw. TSM up in the lead right now, and looking to make it a 2-0 in this best of 5 so far. And they're certainly in the driver's seat, looking now at continued bot lane pressure, as Turtle really could just acquire farm under his turret and let IgNar look for roams, but can't find those just yet.
I mean, if Turtle steps too far forward and you get hit by that Ashe arrow, it's very easy to get burst down, even by this combo. You can set up the Bard Stun off of that Ashe arrow a lot of the times if you're too close to any sort of a wall. So with that available, despite the fact that Biofrost does not have his ultimate, they can start to look for plays once more. Bjergsen has the roll already completed. He built up that Sheen, so he's going towards CDR. He has his ultimate available now, so you want to see TSM every time you have those ultimates begin to try to look for plays. Fish with the Ashe arrow. You have the CDR build. It's a relatively low cooldown. Try to create picks, and they are going immediately with that TF ultimate.
Oh, they're going to find some more stuns right here. Solo is out of health. His flash was used, and it does not matter. Broken Blade gets the easy kill as the rest of the team shows up, and TSM showing no signs of slowing down. Arrow right there. Flash stun going to find some more. Now the exhaust. Turtle's going to run for his life. Can he get away? A flash over the net. DoubleLift with perfect mechanics. Knocks down kill number 6 for TSM.
That is exactly the play I just talked about. If you are too close to a wall, Ashe arrow, easy follow-up for the Bard stun. Every time they can set up for each other. TSM, again, winning on both sides of the map. This team is attacking FlyQuest relentlessly. Game 1 and Game 2. They are really playing some strong League of Legends here, even being able to give over that kill to Broken Blade, everyone backing off in both of the kills that Broken Blade has participated in. It was very clear the intention to give him that gold, to get this Jax going. They know that they want him to get to a really strong point, because not only can you take over in the side lanes, but if you can get to Triforce Death Dance, that core of items allows you to team fight, and then all of a sudden against double marksman, you can just get in the backline and wreak havoc with a high amount of CDR, with enough levels that your cooldowns on the leap strike as well as the counter strike become very, very low.
And you just saw for a second there the WildTurtle's disconnected message down there. That was the time when there was the pause for the believed bug that didn't exist, and during that was the disconnect. So during the pause when he went down, after it already died, and now we're back, of course, onto the map. Second Herald, once again, has gone to Flag. This time around, it will go into the top lane. This will allow FlyQuest to finally get their first turret of the game. As it gets pushed down, this will certainly fall, but they've got to make back a roughly 4,000 gold deficit. That's going to be a tough one to go through, as Spica answers the bot side with a red buff take. Next Drake spawns in 44 seconds, and, well, Ashe is already on Essence Reaver plus Hurricane, so good luck out team fighting that one on a one-item Caitlyn. They're going to knock down the Herald before the second charge as well, so that's not shepherded far enough. And TSM should feel very comfortable. Now, if they want this Drake, DoubleLift has to leave the lane after this wave and get down there for the Drake fight.
And I think they will look to continue trying to find picks, right? And if they can't find a pick, I don't anticipate them to commit to a full-on 5v5. But again, Ashe arrow available, Bard ultimate available, TF ultimate available. They have all of these tools, so they can look to try to spot people out with Hawkshot before even committing the TF ultimate. And then if they are separated, go for that kill. Look to pounce and try to make a play. And hopefully for them, that can lead into a dragon.
Already a bit of pressure towards the jungle as the ward comes down. It's defensive plays out of PowerOfEvil. His mana bar a little bit low here, below half. can certainly be relevant on an Azir. You can blow through a lot of that pretty quickly as they fight for mid lane control. Bjergsen shoves down the wave, and now look at this, TSM already feeling comfortable. They've got vision control. They've got the Drake in their eyes, looking to stack number 2 for them as FlyQuest move back around. They actually have kind of segmented TSM. They've got a momentary moment of looking for maybe a 5v4, jumping in for the steal. It will be grabbed. Santorin claims it, stuns across the board, but look at the front line. It is IgNar dropping the dunk in, the Bard over the top. This is going to be 2 more kills most likely. The shovel comes back from Azir, and it's already a 2 for 0. Here comes number 3. Bjergsen gets the gold card, gets the chase down, gets a double kill for the Jax. TSM loses the smite fight. They do not lose the real fight.
And they are lucky that Baron isn't up, or that could have been an easy Baron. Now they're going for the dive. They want everyone.
They're going to get Santorin, most likely the flash to guarantee it. There's the ace under the turret. TSM will not die in this final.
5 for 0 at the Dragon. The smite saves it from an absolute disaster from FlyQuest, as it really didn't want TSM to be able to get that, but even so, the setup was fantastic from TSM. The Bard ultimate was clutch from Biofrost, and DoubleLift is getting so strong at this point in the game. They are just enormously ahead. This gold lead has really exploded. Well over 6,000 gold at this point, pre-20 minutes, is just an absurd difference. All right, so here it is one more time. The Bud Light ace. In goes Santorin. Q smite does take that away. The Ashe ultimate has to be flashed there by Santorin, but then watch IgNar just getting burst down, and as he goes down, Spica dunks him back to be able to set up the clap onto Turtle and PowerOfEvil with a lot of those abilities on cooldown. With the Azir ultimate on cooldown, Bjergsen can easily ult over. DoubleLift immediately goes for the push mid lane to try to set this up, and Bjergsen going to be able to land the stun right over onto Santorin while they're bursting him down. Broken Blade is tanking that tower, and note how he saved the Q not to go in, just walks into melee range, starts hitting solo, and then as he gets threatened by that tower, he can easily jump out of tower range. TSM are playing both sides of that fight incredibly well, and they are just crushing FlyQuest.
They are absolutely walking over this final right now. Already a 6,000 gold lead, only 20 minutes into the game. Baron's on the map, and that honestly may well be a target here, as they do their best on the FlyQuest side to clear waves away. They've only bled 1 turret. TSM have not played that much for turret pressure so far in this series, but they've certainly been winning team fights and winning neutral objectives time and again, as Broken Blade keeps battling solo. And even with the early Bramble Vest picked up, Broken Blade obviously feels comfortable, and now Twisted Fate is here as well. Ornn comes in, tries to be a gold card, not going to happen, goes down yet again. It is effortless for TSM to pick on anyone they want.
It's so hard for solo because it's easy to say, oh, just build some MR to help survive against the TF. Well, the Jax is getting fed kills. He has mixed damage here too. You know, you're just trying to survive, trying to hold on against this Jax, but TSM has full run of the map. Bjergsen is strong, the Jax is strong. He just cannot itemize effectively against both of these members because he's gone for the tabbies. He does not have the tenacity to really survive through all of this CC. And TSM are really just running a masterclass right now on how to play these side lanes out against FlyQuest. They are crushing them in the macro game, finding pick after pick, and they are being so proactive. There is hardly any time in between, it feels like, Bjergsen's ultimate coming up and Bjergsen making a play.
Yeah, someone dies. Just, yeah, the cooldown's back. Cool. Let me add 4 more pages of the book, or, you know, only 2 if it's an assist, I suppose. 5 on kill, but either way, it is Bjergsen shoving down mid lane. Lichbane is done. Card's getting locked. DoubleLift can't quite get the volley poke, but ready to push again pretty soon. 7,500 remains the lead. TP into the bottom lane. We've got more pressure coming in as Bjergsen wants another fight. Here comes the rest of the squad. Can they get the stun? They're going to get the pull back there from Spica. Almost walks into the Ashe arrow. Dunk into the wall. Does he have the damage on Spica's side? Maybe just not. IgNar is here, though. Maybe they can find themselves a single kill. Something back. Ornn comes in. Doesn't have the ulti, though. And Spica gets the shield and walks away. Caitlyn snipe going to make it close. Turret aggro will swap, and that will actually kill him off. Biofrost could have tanked turret. He could have stood still, maybe gotten a teammate out. End of the day, it took that much effort for just a single kill, and it's still traded back by a turret for TSM.
And turret damage in the top lane. And Bjergsen's going back in. He wants some more, but there are a lot of FlyQuest members around. I don't know if they realize what they're getting themselves into.
All right, gonna look for a potential 4-on-2 magical journey. Gonna try to buy some time, but cannot save Bjergsen as well, and it's still gonna be the chase down. They're gonna find 2 kills. Yes, some turrets fell, but at least some shutdowns were picked up. These glimmers of hope for FlyQuest.
And that's the first big overextension for TSM because there's nothing for them to get back right now. And also, Bjergsen has no teleport for when this dragon is going to be up. So FlyQuest, if they can rush this and put themselves at soul point, then there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There's some way to get some hope in this game and say, okay, maybe if we get the soul, we can claw our way back. That is going to be the play here for FlyQuest. They're going to try to rush this dragon and put themselves at soul point. Yep. Looks like TSM is just straight up going to give it up. Spica is staying up on the top side of the map. They don't feel like they'll be able to contest with Bjergsen still down, with Biofrost just respawning. But there are pings over on a Baron. So will TSM actually commit to this? Don't think so.
You're seeing some intelligent play out of FlyQuest, though. They say, okay, look, we have 5 full seconds of Dragon alive and Bjergsen cannot ult in because he's still respawning. So TSM recognize that and say, okay, it's yours, we'll set up topside. And FlyQuest kind of make that next play and say, okay, we chunked it down. Let's start cheating over towards top river just in case. Let's move over, let Santorin finish it. Okay, cool, our T's are crossed, our I's are dotted. All right, on to the next one. So now we're gonna be seeing a lot of teams, well, both teams really, a lot of players fighting over top river and setting up afterwards for that Drake spawn at 4.5.
And that's what it's gonna really come down to. TSM still in a great position, but those 2 picks were shutdowns and allowed their opponents to get to soul point. So FlyQuest have that win condition within their sights, have a way to get back into this game. We'll see if they can make it happen because they're still fighting out from a pretty significant disadvantage over these next couple minutes. We can see Broken Blade has a critical 2 items completed. His Triforce is done, plus the Blade of the Rune King. Once you start getting the CDR in, and post level 13 especially, you get those abilities ranked up, you have the low cooldowns, and you can really start to chase down some of these marksmen. And even just allowing yourself to let that Counter-Strike run full in a team fight can become incredibly difficult to actually take you down. You become very dependent upon the damage from the Azir in particular to actually threaten this Jax.
Top 3 gold leaders are all on TSM, and even Spica's got more money than Solo, who's been, for the 2nd game in a row now, the lowest farmed non-support in the game. He's been put so far behind every time, lowest farm of all the laners. Obviously the KDA is not very good either. And we're going to see if FlyQuest can get that Infernal Soul. Of course, even if they had it, I would still favor TSM with this gold lead, even if you just dropped Infernal Soul in FlyQuest's lap. It doesn't make Solo beat Broken Blade. It doesn't keep WildTurtle alive against a Bjergsen ulti. So we'll see if they can get themselves into a real team fight, but they are waiting to scale. We're 3 items on DoubleLift. We are nearly to rapid fire cannon on Bjergsen for the easy access gold cards. And look at Broken Blade down to the bottom lane. TP is up, and no one is answering the fact that these turrets are falling.
This is because Solo has no teleport, and they're actually worried about TSM doing the Baron, which it looks like they're actually on. So they are on the Baron, and FlyQuest just has no choice but to try to respond. As soon as they get the teleport out of PowerOfEvil, TSM immediately disengage. Broken Blade got a tower on the bot side for free. So this is such a well-played out split push game. When you are playing from an advantage, you know how difficult it is to answer on that one side. One person cannot answer the Jax alone and expect to win, and they still have to respect that threat of the Baron. So it's this push and pull that TSM are going to be going for. Try to force members to answer their 4-man squad. As soon as they do that, that gives the freedom for Broken Blade to push. If they try to attack Broken Blade, it's time for the 4-man squad to get something done.
Solo able to at least upgrade his first item for WildTurtle as the Molten Edge comes through, but I can't remember the last time I saw a level 14 Ornn who still didn't have his 2nd individual upgrade yet. This is far below the pace. And I still believe Solo is a good player. Maybe he could be doing a bit more in this game, but he's being just attacked by Broken Blade. He's blind picked Ornn both games. Bjergsen and Spica and Biofrost have shown up several times, and, well, sometimes, you're being left alone, and, hey, look, it's him again in a 1 versus 2, trying to run away. Tries to be in the gold card, still gets stunned, to be fair, so the reinforcements come across, and now they're trying for another re-engage. Looking at Broken Blade, they find the stun, but they can't get any more than that, as TSM are pushing around the top side. They're going to get a lot of damage here. The TP is getting burned. They're trying to rush down this Baron, and FlyQuest will show up now, because the health bar is running lower and Baron is getting out of hell. So here comes the play. Cannot get the smite steal. Well done to Spica. He finds the kill, he finds the Baron, and now it's time for TSM to walk all over this game.
Nice play there from TSM. They go for the play onto Solo, but a really well-timed Bellows Breath. Immune the gold card, he had members behind him. But again, if you send all those members to the other side to try to answer the split push, well, then you're going to get attacked on the other side of the map. DoubleLift and Spica were already on the Baron. They had double TP advantage. There's nothing available on FlyQuest side, so they have to walk straight up from bottom lane towards that Baron, and TSM just double TP'd straight into the pit, secure themselves the Baron, and they really feel like they have everything going for themselves in this game. 10,000 gold in the lead. You're playing 1-3-1 with Baron buff now. Ornn can wave clear without Baron buff, but once that's there, it's just almost impossible to actually have enough damage to get through those minions.
And here comes the next round as Solo's going to be in danger. Has to wait for when the bind might come through. Doesn't quite get stunned in place, but he's still not going to have the health bar for much longer. Solo is going to drop. IgNar shows up to lose half his health bar as well, and TSM keep finding more things to do. Shirelli has moved in for some replacement as DoubleLift walks in the mid lane. He's going to find himself another turret kill, and TSM have 5 turrets, 14 kills, and an 11,000 gold lead.
This is insane. No one's even answering Bjergsen. They're going to try to look for an engage mid. So as soon as you see no one's answering Bjergsen, the rest of TSM back it up. You don't need to push anything. You're getting a free advantage on that side lane. So that's what they want to do. And because FlyQuest is locked into their base, there's really no chance for them to even try to go for this Infernal Dragon and grab a soul, which, as you said, wouldn't even come close to putting the game even when you're this far behind. It would just be a slim hope. And TSM just going to be able to zone people out away from that. Biofrost and Spica, they're going to keep them back, and Broken Blade just souls it up.
All right, IgNar immune some damage and stays alive. Level 10 of the Pantheon, of course, with Ornn dead and still actually waiting for the ulti to come back for IgNar. Engage tools are a little bit scarce for the FlyQuest side. At this point, this game is going to be walked over. You have to believe. 12,000 gold lead nearly. Gets the second Drake. To the point we've said a few times, yeah, Soul probably even not enough to turn this game around. We'll see what TSM can do for the rest of this one as they go in for turret number 7 before too long. 40 seconds on the Baron buff, and you've got Jax in the bot lane, Twisted Fate in the top. TSM are playing the 1-3-1 you expect to see with this comp, and it means that FlyQuest don't have options. Their best option is hoping they somehow get a catch and lose an inhibitor for it.
Exactly, and now TSM trying to push on all sides. Bjergsen's up on that top side. They're going for the dive, it looks like.
Decent damage. They bring the TF down for some gold card hits, but ultimately says, okay, let's make sure we're all here. We know your team might try to hard engage. It's the last push anyway. TSM are going for the reset. The Baron buff is ending. They get their 4,200 gold lead out of it and say, all right, let's reset one more time. Next objectives in 3.5 minutes. That's the Drake. Baron's about 3 minutes from this point on as well. Play for the next neutrals. Crack the inhibitors with them.
So this game, I think, is a good example of some of the issues that I kind of had with Pantheon that I talked about in Pickban, and I know that was a really long time ago, so I'll kind of go quickly as we had that pause. You know, my concern with the Pantheon pick in this situation is, A, it weakens your 2v2 lane, B, it makes your team fight worse, and you're doing that for the exchange of hopefully being able to shut down this Jax in the side lane. You're hoping that maybe the Ornn is holding him, and then you ult in, and you find these picks or 2v1 fights to turn it around, or maybe you answer the TF. But it's like, it's so hard to actually accomplish that as a Pantheon support. Unless you are really snowballing, you do not have a lot of threat on someone like a Jax. And from the position that we are in, he's 7 levels down on Bjergsen. He's 6 levels down on Jax. You're basically a melee minion in, just flying in to give a bit more kill gold over. You can't threaten these solo laners whatsoever, and he also can't protect Turtle, so the Pantheon just has almost 0 use in this game.
Yeah, and I want to see what the Game 3 draft's going to look like here. I think we are due for a big shakeup in how FlyQuest is going to play these games out, and the draft is going to kind of make that the case here. Because honestly, they have yet to do anything to stop the TSM game plan, where Broken Blade continually, you might gank him, it doesn't matter. He's still going to go ahead of the matchup because you're blind picking a tank in top lane, and there's just an ocean of possibilities there for the TSM top laner. 2 levels up now. Your Graves jungle's not getting anything done in the early game. Yeah, you got to kill it in an, unimportant matchup once, but realistically, Spica is getting more done in every single one of these games, and the 2-on-2 is treading water, which, yeah, you're against DoubleLift and Biofrost. That's one of the best laning duos in the league. IgNar is probably best, put making top or mid lane look better, but then, have a top lane worth ganking and have a mid laner that you revisit after Burning Flash. There's pieces missing to the champ select puzzle right now.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and I think if you want to play this sort of front-to-back style where you're blind picking your Ornn and you're going for Azir and you're going for scaling, you have to somewhat secure your team fight dominance with your support pick also, right? If you have something like a Braum, that can make, your team fight a lot stronger, or even some of the more lane dominant picks to put WildTurtle in an advantage and try to secure there. But, if you're getting counterpicked in your top lane and you're going even in your 2v2 and you don't even really have much of a team fight win condition because your support isn't going to really do a lot there, it's like, it's hard to find ways to win. So it will be interesting to see if FlyQuest can hold on whatsoever in this game, and going forward if they're going to try to look for some adjustments, because TSM's game plan has been very clear. It has been snowball Broken Blade, have Bjergsen on picks that can affect those side lanes, make things happen around that top laner, and FlyQuest may have to move away from just blind picking their top if solo is going to be picked on this much.
Let's hope they can change it around or find some way to come back here in game 2, but they are looking down the barrel of a 13,000 gold deficit, and the next Drake is spawning 50 seconds. The Baron is alive right now. Broken Blade has no problems fighting solo, taking 1,000 health off of him, healing back up with the mini wave, and then looking at the inhibitor turret. This time around, Pantheon is coming down. Ornn is sounded. They're going to look for damage on a Broken Blade. He will flash the first knockup, but Azir is here. Flash for the knockback. They're going for this one, but Baron is currently being attacked. So you killed Broken Blade. Congratulations. A broken base is what FlyQuest are about to have as the Baron is picked up with no contest whatsoever.
And you see how many people they have to actually send down there to make it a sure thing. That was 4 members. That was flash off your Azir, ultimates from 3 of your members. So as soon as you're committing that much down there, TSM is always going to have control on this top side. They have full vision control. They're going to be able to threaten this. FlyQuest looks like they're trying to actually sneak a soul. And I think this is pretty smart from the position that they are in. They can't really do much to defend anyway. So they are over on this dragon, but Spica is heading over here, and he has the potential to get in there and steal it.
What if Spica? What if? Now, he doesn't get it. Infernal Soul does go over, but Twisted Fate is going to see where the movement is because the base is being attacked, and there's only 2 to defend. Solo respawns, making it a third. Teleport's getting used to try to bring the team over. And they will lose not more than just the inhibitor. The team will get to disengage. So now we get the test. A 14,000 gold lead versus Infernal Soul. Spoiler alert, 14,000 gold lead is better unless we go 50 minutes. Unless we go 50 minutes.
It's definitely a lot better. I'm not going to argue with you there. But, you know, there are some slim hopes kind of alive now for FlyQuest because they do have this never-ending buff. And now you're saying, all right, if we can delay, if we can, you know, have TSM completing all their items, which they already are, like look at DoubleLift and Bjergsen. They're not really getting stronger, right? They are done their items. So the longer you wave clear, the longer you hold on, you close that gold gap, and maybe, just maybe, you can pull off a comeback because you are always going to have that Infernal Soul in your back pocket. The Ornn upgrades have come through for pretty much everyone at this point. Molten Edge, Death Crown, the upgraded Black Cleaver, those are all very good upgrades from that Ornn. So FlyQuest are going to try to hold on here. It's TSM's job to close out now.
Biofrost starting it up. The team fight might come in. Here comes the Jack CP. Perfectly timed stun. Biofrost almost dead. Stays alive, though. Ornn comes across. Can't kill Biofrost. Thanks for the redemption. Here comes the re-engage. Santorin is low. The Sett dunk comes in for Spica, but Spica is low. Shield comes up. They find the first kill. FlyQuest 1 for 0. Traded back right away. Solo losing health rapidly as Devil puts down so much damage, but the team fight is only the 1 for 1. FlyQuest near their fountain can start to regen back up. DoubleLift gonna look for some pressure, but can't get that much done. It is hard to siege an Azir. And that is a team fight from 13,000 gold down that went 1 for 1. Now, problem is the base is still dying. The inhibitor in mid lane is going to drop. The inhibitor in top lane is already gone. The inhibitor turret in bot lane is going to fall momentarily as well. And FlyQuest will have to sit inside their base.
PowerOfEvil does have a chance to maybe carry this game. It's going to be damn hard, but he's trying to get it done.
Gold card. Poke puts him at half. Looking for maybe the re-engage. Not going to go all the way in. That could have been the chance at an ulti, but they don't go for the play. Solo's still waiting on his own ultimate. His Ornn upgrades are through on his side. He's got everyone upgraded but IgNar on support, and he needs a different item to get that one to come through.
Unlikely that he'll get there this game, you know, with the Kindle Gem and the stopwatch in. I don't know that he's going to be able to do that, but TSM still continuing to push. They have super minions now coming in from multiple sides. They're trying to just, you know, poke as much as they can to get value out of the Infernal Soul. And I think that team fight was so tough for TSM because they committed so heavily to killing off IgNar, and he was able to get up that empowered shield to block so much of the damage and, you know, not even get burst down. They committed very heavily to doing that. And if you can absorb that engage and buy time for Turtle and PowerOfEvil, like, they are big threats. Full build or not, these are strong carries who can knock down the members on TSM.
Yeah, and I will say that these are the dragons themselves, though they are weaker than seasons past, that do give pure raw teamfight stats. It's percent armor MR for the Ornn and percent AD AP for the other 4 on the team. Theoretically, I still heavily favor TSM, but as time goes on, they run out of time themselves. Here comes the siege as mid and top are already pushed in. They grab the waves. They're making sure they keep gaining the golden XP, and the siege may continue. 2 minutes on Baron, 2.5 on Elder. Nothing to do but siege right now as they push in towards Solo. Dodge comes in, doesn't find much. Wards fought over. Solo going to take a lot of damage here. Can't kill him just yet, but here comes the dunk yet again. Going to the fight again. This could be a whole lot done as TF shows up, and they can't. find the solo stun. Turtle gets away, cleanses the gold card, but the siege is on because top lane turret is going to fall. Redemption heals back up, and it's a full-on 5v4. TSM continue the siege. They are up in items, they are up in damage, they are up in pressure, and they're looking for even more. Waves cleared yet again, still trying for Caitlyn and Azir to hold on for more time. 40 seconds on Solo's respawn. That is 2 waves of supers coming in and sieging time and again. A little bit of poke comes through. They actually fail to dodge that one, so Bjergsen's at half. Is there a big play? Can Pee-wee make it happen? He revives the top lane Nexus turret, and more time is bought. TSM are routed out of the base. They're going to disengage this one. They will steal a red buff. They will steal some jungle camps, but they will not break the base just yet.
They aren't able to break the base. I like the idea from TSM there to attack away from PowerOfEvil. They had 4 members in the base pushing forward. They have Bjergsen drawing the attention of PowerOfEvil, and if he ever steps away, one Lichbane gold card, one Lichbane blue card rather, with the rapid fire, could knock down that turret or deal a tremendous amount of damage to it as it's already low on health. So they engage away from the Azir, the strongest member. They look to attack the rest of the team on FlyQuest's side. And FlyQuest do hold on, so they do have all of these super minions flooding towards their base, filling up their pockets with gold. Turtle is essentially done. Yes, he can complete that Mercurial Scimitar, but it's not going to be that much of a difference from this point. But the problem is going to come when they have to leave their base, when they have to challenge for the Baron in 30 seconds, when they have to challenge for the Elder Dragon in a minute, because that is where TSM can find angles. That is where TSM can find picks.
Oh, Biofrost going to lose his health down to 1,000, but they can't get any hard crowd controls. He's going to stay alive. There's no flash W for IgNar, which is honestly maybe worth burning with Baron coming up in 10 seconds, but of course didn't have the cooldown. And so we reset on the map as Biofrost jams in the heals. Ocean Drake helps a little bit, and now Baron is alive. Top inhibitor is back, but Jax in the bot lane, and we know Solo can't touch him as there's now 4 major items done for the Jax. And here comes the Baron burn. The gold's not worth that much. The XP only really helps Spica and Biofrost, but the Baron buff means the siege is that much harder, and there is only 1 Nexus turret left. So Baron is grabbed. Formality there. Elder Dragon alive in 12 seconds, and the 1-3-1 continues with the Fates in the top lane, Jax in the bot lane, and you cannot leave them alone.
Exactly. If you walk over there to try to contest this Elder Dragon, well, maybe your base just dies. And if you don't, you're going to be sieged by the Baron buff, by the Elder Dragon, and at that point, it is just incredibly hard to be able to stop the amount of power that will be over on that TSM side.
So here comes the attempt. It is DoubleLift easily able to solo. There's no chance at all that Elder Dragon wins this fight, and right now DoubleLift, the Dovahkiin, going to have no problems taking this one away, but it's FlyQuest trying to take the fight. Now keep in mind, though, TF can still push. They go for the big play in the front side. Elder Dragon is grabbed, and that's going to be the team fight. It's already over. You've already got a jungler dead. Spica's going to get the shields. He's going to get the heals. He's going to stay alive. The slows are in. DoubleLift is still on the chase, but he's got to be careful. He steps up. He gets knocked up, and he will get a trade kill against the opposing AD carry. Spears come across. The tank is tanky, but Bjergsen is going for the end, and no one is here to stop him as Solo's running away. IgNar's trying to show up, but the minion wave is there, and TSM make it a 2-0 lead in the LCS 2020 Summer Final.
What a start to this finals for TSM. They are looking so damn good, playing their own style, focusing on top lane counter picks, proactivity and movement across the map constantly for Bjergsen on both the Zilean as well as the TF. They are playing the side lanes. They are contesting where they have to contest. They're giving up where they need to concede, and they are being able to split FlyQuest up so heavily that they got multiple uncontested Barons because they're having to answer this Jax who's been put so far ahead.